Good morning, dear students. In this video, we are going to start the next poem of our English focus book, and the name of our poem is The Solitary Reaper, and it is given on page number 116. This poem is composed by famous English poet William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth is known for his nature poems. His poems beautifully describe the beauty of countryside, that is village. So in this poem he is describing the beauty of countryside when he was on a trip to Scotland with his sister Dorothy Wordsworth. So now let's read the poem. The Solitary Reaper. So the meaning of solitary is alone, single. And reaper means one who cuts grain, and you can say one who cuts crop. So a single girl is there who is cutting grain in a Scottish field. So let's start the poem. First stanza is, behold her single in the field, yon solitary highlandless, reaping and singing by herself. Stop here or gently pass, alone she cuts and binds the grain, and sings a melancholy strain. Oh listen, for the vale profound is overflowing with the sound. So, behold means look at. So, look at her single in the field. She is alone in the field. There is a girl, Scottish girl, by herself over there. She is alone in the field and she is cutting crops there. She is cutting grain there. Yon solitary highlandless. Yon means that. Solitary means single. Highlandless means a young woman from the mountains of Scotland. Reaping. Reaping means cutting and singing by herself. She is singing a song there. Stop here or gentle pass. So the passers by were going there, were passing from there. So the poet requests them, stop and listen to her or walk on quietly. She cuts and gathers grain. Alone she cuts and binds the grain. Bind means gather. So she is cutting the crop and she is binding the grain herself. She is doing these two work alone. And sings a melancholy strain. Melancholy means sad. Strain means song here. So she is singing a sad song there. Oh, listen for the vale profound. Profound means a very large and deep valley. So the poet requests the passers-by, listen her song as she sings a sad song that seems to be echoing the surrounding valley. The music, the song is overflowing with the deep valley is overflowing with her music. The poet wants to say this. No nightingale did ever chaunt more welcome notes to weary bends of travellers in some shady haunt among Arabian scents. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. So, in this second stanza, the poet compares the song of this girl, this Scottish girl, to the nightingale's song. As you know that nightingale is known for its sweet sound. So no nightingale did ever chaunt. Chaunt means sing. More welcome notes. Notes means song. To weary. Weary means tired, and bends means group of travelers. Shady haunt. Shady haunt means a place shaded by trees among Arabian saints. So what the poet is trying to say this, that nightingale is a bird that is known for its sweet sound. In the Arabian Sea, when some travelers are traveling and they take rest in shady places, so they are welcomed by the song of nightingale. But the song of this Scottish girl is better than that nightingale. So, if a tired traveler is there in the Arabian Saints and they heard a nightingale song there, so that song is not better than this girl song. So the poet compares Nightingale's songs to that of a girl song, and he is saying that this girl song is better than the song of Nightingale. A voice so thrilling never was heard in springtime from the cuckoo bird, breaking the silence of the seas among the farthest Hebrides. So now the poet is saying that how the cuckoo bird used to spring in spring and summer season. As you know that cuckoo bird sings song in spring and summer season. They do not sing in winter season. So after a long time when we hear the voice of cuckoo, as it does not sing in winter season, but the song of cuckoo bird is not better than this girl's song. The poet says that the girl's song is better than cuckoo's song, as the girl's song is breaking the silence of the place, and the place is the Highlands of Scotland. Now see the third stanza. Will no one tell me what she sings? Perhaps the plaintive numbers flow for old, unhappy, far off things and battles long ago. Or is it some more humble lay, familiar matter of today, some natural sorrow, loss, or pain that has been and may be again? So now the poet says that actually the girl is singing in Scottish language. She is not singing the song in English. So the poet is not able to understand what is she singing. But the music, but the tune of that song is very impressive, and he is not able to understand the meaning of that song. So he asked, won't anyone tell him what the girl's song is about? Maybe she sings so sadly for old tragedies and ancient battles, or maybe the song is humbler about everyday things, the pains and sorrows that everyone endures. So plaintive means sad. Number means song here. Plaintive numbers means sad song here. So actually the poet does not understand the song, and he cannot tell us what the song was about. So he requests that anyone can tell him what the song is about, so that he can understand the idea or the meaning of the words, and he can express these words, the meaning of these words, to his readers as well. So now let's see the last stanza of this poem. Whatever the theme, the maidens sing, as if her song could have no ending. I saw her singing at her work, and over the sickle bending. I listened motionless and still, and as I mounted up the hill, the music in my heart I bore long after it was heard no more. So, the poet in this last stanza wants to say that whatever she was singing about, I'm not able to grab the meaning, but whatever she was singing, the young song, her song was very beautiful. And the maiden saying, maiden means unmarried girl. Okay, so the girl is singing a song that is not, that I'm not able to comprehend, but she will sing. It means she will not stop. She will sing again and again. I saw her singing at her work. It means simultaneously she is singing and she is doing her work as well. And over the sickle bending. Actually, while working, she was bending over to cut the wheat with the sickle. Sickle is a tool to cut the grain. I listened motionless and still. So I listened to her without moving. And as I mounted up the hill, now it is time to go. So as I walked on up a hill, the music in my heart I bore. I carried her music in my heart. And I still do long after I stopped hearing it. So what is the meaning of these last three lines? That the poet says that the language is Scottish, which the girl is using. The girl is singing, she has not stopped singing yet, but the poet is no longer there. So the poet is climbing up the hill. So now he cannot hear the song from his ears, but the music is in his heart. Though he came far from that place where the girl was singing, but he cannot forget the song which he heard from that Scottish girl. So this is the end of our poem. I hope you understood the poem very well. Thank you for watching this video. Take care. Bye bye.